Hi, this is Bill with Dine Drink Vegas. It is June of 2022 and I'm in Carver's Steak inside the Resorts World Las Vegas. I've just enjoyed an excellent meal and I want to give you a sense of the space this is and show you some of the great things I had to eat. If you're going to eat here at Carver's Steak, one of the first things that you have to decide is where you want to be. I'm right now in the lounge area, which is right by the entrance, and that's great if there's a sports game that you want to watch. Because if you go to this fantastic bar, that's where you would be able to see the games. The bar is stocked with almost anything that you can imagine. And as testament to that, I'm now about to walk past what they call the whiskey room, and you can see here on the wall some of the fantastic products that they have available. Now the whiskey room is just a regular dining room, and it is available here to my right. It's simply a regular dining space. Oh, so sorry about that. It's simply a regular dining space. You can also see that they have a large number of wines available. Going around, we're going to go into the main part of the dining room. That's the booth where I just enjoyed my meal. The cocktails here are fantastic, and that's one of the things I would particularly encourage everyone to try. Going here into the largest of the dining rooms, circling around to the bar, I would absolutely encourage you to make reservations. Now, what we're about to see here is the Martini cart. That's one of the real features here, and the Martinis aren't cheap. I think most of them cost $30 or $35, but I enjoyed one of those. I had a Vesper, and it was great. Now, you have the lounge area, you have the main dining room, but one of the other great features here at Carver's Steak is the ability to eat outside. Let's go take a look at some of their outside dining. Again, it's June, it is hot, but one of the things they do with their outside dining is have a series of misters, which makes outside dining a real possibility. There are also actually two outside dining areas, and they're configurable so that you can have large groups depending on where you are. Because it's June, there aren't a huge number of people eating in the outside area. Go ahead. That's fine. There aren't a huge number of people eating outside, but it is a live possibility.
Oh, yeah.
If the weather was a little bit more pleasant, I would enjoy eating here outside because you've got some gorgeous views going up and down the strip. There you can see the Encore. In the background, you can see the Palazzo. So what I'm going to do is come back in just a minute and show you some of the pictures of the great things that I had to eat because this was a fantastic meal. Because it is Dine Drink Vegas, we'll never make you watch us eat. Instead, let me show you some still pictures of what we had and how good it was. So while I did have a whole lot of excellent things to eat, I don't actually want to start there. I want to start by talking about the excellent things I had to drink. I showed you a picture of the Martini cart earlier, and I absolutely ordered that service. The drink I got was a Vesper, which was $35. Think of something like a Martini, which a combination of gin and vodka. It was great. Now, what you're paying for with the Martini cart isn't just the drink, it's also the presentation and the service, but the presentation and service was worth it, and it was certainly an experience that I would pay to have again. I enjoyed the drink, I enjoyed the tableside presentation. It turns out, though, that that's not the only good thing they have to drink at that bar. One of the great values at the bar is they have Maker's Mark Private Barrel Select. That's a whiskey which at your local liquor store will probably cost you around $65 for the bottle. I wound up paying $24 for this pour. So, I mean, it depends on how you think of it. If you think about what it costs relative to buying the bottle at home, pretty high. If you think about it on the scale of an exceptional pour of whiskey in a bar in Vegas, it was actually a really good deal. And, of course, they do the right thing. They had the crystal clear ice cubes, which they had formed in advance. I mean, it's a high-end bar with high-end bar service that I enjoyed very much. In terms of things that I actually ate, the first thing they ordered was some of the bacon onion bread. It was listed as an appetizer, and I think it cost $5 or $6. It was good. This was one of my only real disappointments in the meal, though, is it's a high-end steakhouse. I'm already going to pay $80-odd for my entree, making me pay for something out of the bread basket if I want. It was, I don't know, that seemed cheap. almost. It also was probably the least successful of the things I ate. Now, don't misunderstand me. I enjoyed it. It was very, very good, particularly with some of that salted butter. Just, I don't know that that's something I do again. The crab cake I ordered, though, was probably the best crab cake that I've ever had. They put Old Bay seasoning on it. They bothered to take the Old Bay seasoning and put it in the form of a crab. The crab cake itself was mostly crab, but there was just enough filler to hold it together and make it taste good. There was a little bit of that frisee salad. There were some of those peppers. That crab cake was phenomenal, and I enjoyed the steak I had very much, but that was the best crab cake I can remember having had, and that was probably the highlight of my meal. Now, before your steak comes, one of the things that you do is choose the knife you're going to cut it with. That was cool. Like, that really added to the ambiance and the experience there at Carver's Steak. I selected the knife that was at the top here. They have a variety of options. I'll be honest, the Martini cart had come at this point. I missed some of the technical differences in the knives, but it was a nice part of the ambiance. And I don't know, it added a nice decorative flair. For dinner, I got some of the roasted mushrooms. I also got the rib cap. And the rib cap was great because it was one of the only choices they had for a steak that wasn't just obscenely huge. This picture doesn't quite do it justice, but it was a good 8 ounces. It was everything that I need. It was as much meat as I needed, absolutely. It was cooked at temperature. They had some nice salt flakes on it. Now, I would have preferred that it was a little more heavily seasoned. Perhaps a little bit more salt, some garlic and pepper would have been nice. But it was so well seasoned. It was cooked perfectly. It was an excellent cut of meat. I was happy to pay for it. I wound up getting mine without any sauce on it, and I think that was the right choice. So, where does Carver Steak fit in terms of the rankings of the steakhouses in Vegas? It wasn't my very favorite. I have a soft spot for Oscar's downtown. But outside of Oscar's, it was awfully close to the top. Prime at the Bellagio has some nice views and some good steak. I don't know that I didn't prefer the ambiance and the experience here at Carver Steak more. I like Carver Steak more than I like Barry's downtown. I also enjoy Gallagher's down at the New York. I've enjoyed lots and lots of the steakhouses in Vegas. And this is probably not my absolute very favorite, but it's in the running. And it was a cool experience. Things like the Martini cart, the choose your own knives, the ability to sit inside or outside as you want to. It is certainly a place I would go back. And I would go back there regardless of whether I was staying at Resorts World. It was a good steakhouse. I would love in the comments section below to see your comments on what you think of Carver Steak and what your favorite steakhouse in Vegas is. I would also love to answer any questions you have. It would help us a lot if you would support this channel by clicking like and subscribe on this video. We try real hard to bring you relatively short and focused videos that answer specific questions you've got about your experience in Vegas. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and thanks so much for watching it, and happy travels.